So after a bit of struggle, guys, we managed to get the car inside the workshop. What we're going to try and do is we need the car to be moving. I mean, so we can't have it just sitting here because we're borrowing this workshop. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to try and sort out, because what's happened is the actual tie rod has broken, snapped in half. So we've got a new one here we purchased just before getting the car delivered. So what we're going to do is we're going to fit this up first. So what you might see is a time lapse of us doing that, just so we can get the car moving. And then after that, we'll assess everything else. We'll look at what's missing, what parts we need, and just go from there. So stay tuned, guys, and be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. It's a new channel, so obviously we would appreciate all the love and support. So yeah, looking forward to rebuilding this one. So as you can see, guys, the inner track rod has snapped. Obviously someone's tried to weld it back in the past, maybe the insurance company when they were trying to move the car around. So we're going to quickly replace that now. We've got another part just so that the car is mobile and it's not sitting in one position. Everything else here looks fine. I mean, there's a little graze here, but once we've replaced this, then we can tell if there's anything else bent. But to be fair, everything else here looks in pretty good shape. I mean, I'd say that is a bit bent, to be honest. So we might have to replace that arm in the lower section there. Other than that, it looks quite good in here. So I love what BMW have done with this design. So you got the track rod end here. Usually you have a bolt or a nut which tightens this so that it keeps it in place, and when you need to adjust the tracking, they unbolt the bolt and adjust this. But on this BMW, you literally got the bolt here, which is a nice design where it just frees it up and then you can adjust the tracking, which is excellent design. I'm not sure if all newer cars are like this, but I used to have a pain in the arse doing this back in the days.
A few moments later.
Alright, we've got a bit of an issue, guys. I was trying to be a bit smart, because what it is, we've managed to get that off now. The only thing is, they didn't have that in stock to be delivered today. Now, initially we wanted to stick this on while the car was on the actual recovery truck. So what I did was, I managed to just get one for a 120D, but as you can see the difference there. Obviously the 2 Series, the M2 is a wider car, so you can see how much it's actually wider by looking at these two.
A few moments later.
We've now got the inner track rod end of the 120D stuck onto the M2. This will enable us to turn the steering, because it was quite difficult to maneuver it. So now we can get it onto a ramp. As you can see, steering is working now. And yeah. Now been a couple of days since we bought the car. At the moment, we've not done anything to it because we've just been ordering parts for it. The parts that I've just ordered are styling parts, diffuser, spoiler. Ordered a new reflector from BMW. We've got a new arm coming for the rear there. It's just one arm that's bent. Obviously from the front, if you guys remember, we put the 120D steering tie rod. We've ordered a new one for the M2 because it's slightly longer. But first things first, we need to get this car washed. So I've covered the headlight up so that we don't get any water in there, because that does still work. We're going to be replacing the lens on that, so we don't have to buy a new light. All depends what's going on behind it. If it's broken behind, then we're going to have to get a new light, but they are about 1,200 quid. So first things first, we got to get it washed and get it nice and clean. That's the first thing you do when you buy a damaged car. You got to wash it. I mean, it's filthy. As you can see, it's literally filthy, full of mud. So yeah, just going to get it washed first and then go from there. I've noticed the light for the turn signal, the warning lights come up, so hopefully there's nothing too wrong with the indicator itself. As you can see, it's flashing fast. But yeah, just gonna drive it out now and get it washed. If I can get it into gear. Yeah, it's in gear. It's just jumping around because the rear wheel is still bent. But if we move nice and slow, we should be good to go. So now that it's all cleaned up, guys, we can get a better idea of any other damages on the car. So far so good. It's just two places on the front and rear that have been damaged. So you can see, guys, that's the arm there, which is pretty straight. If you have a look at the arm inside, you can see how bent that one is compared to the new one we've got. Just turn that around. There you go. Hopefully this is the right arm, because oh yeah, it goes this way around, or this way rather. There is a certain way, because I think this arm can go on the front, so you've got the same arm there, that one there, and on the rear, so you can use this arm on both front and rear of the rear axle. If I get this right, I believe this is the way it sits. So yeah, you can see how much that's bent by. Wow, that is crazy. That is bent quite a bit. Hopefully that's the only thing that's bent. So we've managed to get this bolt off here, which is quite easy. But this one, obviously you've got the controller for the flaps on the exhaust, which is getting in the way. So I've just put on that is a E-socket, but I've put on a 11mm, which does the job. This is quite a tight space. But once we've got that off, I can show you how badly that arm is bent. This angle it's sitting at, it's wedged in between these two, so it's quite a bit of a mission to come out. Find a way of getting that out now, so we can release the bolt inside there also, because it is quite tight at the moment. So let's crack on. So the easiest option now is to get an angle grinder on there, chop that down, and hopefully we can just pop it off. There's another way we can do it. We can take the caliper off and take the disc off and then try and pry it off, but I don't think it's going to come off because there's too much strain on that arm at the moment. So safety glasses on before we get the grinder on it, and let's chop this. Whack. Now that bit is aluminium, it could just crack open. There you go. Nice and easy. As you can see, the way that's tearing apart, the wheel's trying to straighten itself. There you go. Nice and straight. That's our problem solved. We're done. This bolt in here that's been causing us an issue coming out because it's obviously had so much strain on there. We can now get that out. Let's see if I can get this 11mm ratchet off the actual bolt. There we go. There we have it, guys. Shit, that's not been recording. Oh well. Oh, you've got that bit on there, innit?
Yeah.
Yeah, so got that there, guys. As you can see how bent that was.
So look at the difference
compared to the arm there. Nice. Nice. That's how it's supposed to be, and that's how it's become. So once we get that in there, that'll be nice and straight. But at the same time, it's pretty easy to change the springs on this. If we drop that, pop that bolt off there, drop that down, pop this bolt off the shock absorber, and the spring will pop out. So yeah, we should have the rear axle done, spaces out and lowered today. I'm not sure if we can get the front done, but we'll see how things get on. So guys, as you can see, I popped this back in and we've leveled it out. Now you can see the actual wheels straightened out. So that's our problem resolved. We're going to get on to putting the lowering springs on, and then hopefully we can put spacers on. Okay. Now. So, what have we got here? We've had to take or drop the exhaust down. The flaps are getting in the way. It's got the bottle jack underneath, holding the spring in place. So if I lower that slowly, hopefully that should come out now. Oh, there you go. Just like that. Problem is, I've left that in there. Wicked. That's off. And a little bit of, if I release that a little more, that should drop down and then let the spring out. Woo! Got there in the end. There you go. Now I've got to be careful that I should be fine actually. A little bit of space.
A few moments later.
We've got it out, finally. It's one spring down, one down. Looks the same, isn't it? You can see slightly shorter than the originals. I think this way's up. So you can see the difference there. We've gone for like a 25mm drop. We don't want to go too low because obviously that's going to affect the... I don't want to lose the comfort. So that's the reason I've gone for slightly higher than what you'd normally have. I think I've got them the wrong way around. Should be this way. Don't seem to match up. I think it's this way. Yes. Don't seem to match up. I think they're this way around. Oh yeah, let's get them in there. The wirings that way around. So, get the torch on there. And we'll get that seated in there like that. And then what I have to do is I have to get the bottle jack on it again. Just get that back into place. There you go, that's seated right there. And can't get it quite in. There we go, get it. And then if we get the bottle jack back on it, you should be able to get that back in there. bit of help there to get in. We've run out of steam on the jack, so if I give it a little knock with the hammer, that's not gonna get in there. What I might have to do is all over the car slightly, maybe. So that should go in there right now. But it's not going in. Just needs a little bit of help to pop it in there.
A few moments later.
So guys, that's all back in place now. As you can see, it's sitting nice and straight. We'll have to get the geometry done at a later stage, but now it's nice and straight for the time being. So what we're going to do before we drop this side, we put the spring back on. That's the lowered spring. Last thing to do now is put the actual spacer on, and then we're going to drop this side, crack on with the other side. So moment of truth. Get that down. Excellent. See that? That's sitting nice and straight. Once we put the handbrake down, that'll drop slightly on the IPD. Maybe not. But yeah, that's looking good. I'm happy with that. Do you want to bring the camera around here? If you have a look at that now, that's sitting nice and straight. Lovely. We've got the lowering springs and the spacers on there. If you have a look at this side compared to the other side, you can see the wheels sitting slightly in on this side. And you can't tell with the lowering at the moment, but once it's all done, you'll be able to tell that it's slightly lower. Wicked. So that's a wrap for this video. In the next one, you'll see me tackle the front end. So be sure to like, comment and subscribe.